higher history, beyond the limits of recorded history. Freemasonry is often described as a secret society, a brotherhood hidden behind closed doors and guarded rituals. But this definition is both too simple and deeply misleading. Freemasonry is not merely an organization. It is a symbolic system, a living archive of ideas that stretches across centuries, cultures, and forgotten worlds. To understand Freemasonry, one must first abandon the modern obsession with conspiracy and control, and instead enter the ancient mindset where symbols were not decorations, but containers of knowledge. Freemasonry speaks through symbols because symbols survive where words fail. The most iconic emblem, the square and the compass, is not a logo. It is a map. The square represents the material world, structure, order, boundaries, and law. The compass represents the spiritual principle, expansion, infinity, and the unseen geometry of creation. Together, they describe the human condition, suspended between matter and spirit, chaos and order. At the center of this symbol often appears the letter G. Officially, it stands for geometry or God, but historically, geometry was God. In ancient civilizations, geometry was sacred science. It governed temple construction, city planning, and cosmic alignment. The pyramids of Giza, the Parthenon, and Gothic cathedrals were not built by intuition. They were built using harmonic ratios believed to mirror the structure of the universe itself. Freemasonry inherited this worldview from the ancient builders. The legendary origins of Freemasonry trace back to the construction of Solomon's Temple. Whether literal or symbolic, this narrative is crucial. Solomon's Temple represents the perfect structure, not just in stone, but in consciousness. The temple is unfinished until the initiate becomes the stone. This is why Freemasonry calls its members rough ashlar at the beginning, unshaped stone. Through discipline, reflection, and moral refinement, the stone becomes smooth, ready to fit into a greater design. One of the most misunderstood Masonic symbols is the all-seeing eye. Popular culture associates it with surveillance, control, and domination. But its ancient meaning is radically different. The eye comes from Egyptian theology, the Eye of Horus. It symbolizes restored vision after chaos, awareness after fragmentation, and consciousness healed from trauma. It is not watching you. It is awakening you. Freemasonry uses light as its central metaphor. Initiation is described as being brought from darkness into light. This is not religious conversion, it is epistemological transformation. Darkness represents ignorance. Light represents understanding. But light is dangerous. Throughout history, knowledge has always threatened established power. This is why Freemasonry became controversial. During the Enlightenment, lodges spread rapidly across Europe and the Americas. They attracted thinkers, scientists, artists, and statesmen, individuals who questioned divine monarchy and rigid dogma. Inside the lodge, social rank dissolved. A nobleman and a merchant stood as equals. Ideas were exchanged freely in a world where speech was otherwise monitored and punished. This environment made Freemasonry fertile ground for revolutionary thought, not because it planned revolutions, but because it trained minds capable of imagining alternatives. Freemasonry did not pull the strings of history. It shaped the hands that held them. Rituals reinforced memory, symbols created shared language, and secrecy protected fragile ideas until society was ready to receive them. But secrecy always invites fear. Churches, empires, and authoritarian regimes repeatedly banned Freemasonry, not because of what it did, but because of what it represented. An internal hierarchy of meaning rather than power. Freemasonry teaches that true authority comes from self-mastery, that the real battle is internal, and that unchecked ambition leads to collapse. Ironically, this philosophy has often been betrayed by individuals who used Masonic networks for personal gain. Freemasonry, like any system, is vulnerable to corruption. This duality fuels endless confusion. Is Freemasonry a guardian of ancient wisdom, or a shadow network of elites? The uncomfortable truth is both simpler and more complex. There is no single Freemasonry. There is no global command center. There is no unified hidden agenda. There are lodges, traditions, fragments of a much older symbolic language. Some lodges preserve meaning. Others preserve form without understanding. This is what happens when symbols outlive the culture that created them. Yet the core message remains intact for those who look closely. Freemasonry is not about ruling the world. It is about remembering how worlds are built. Civilizations rise when wisdom guides power. They fall when power forgets wisdom. Freemasonry's hidden history is not hidden because it is evil. It is hidden because symbolic knowledge cannot survive mass exposure without distortion. Symbols demand initiation not to exclude, but to protect meaning. In an age of instant information, Freemasonry feels obsolete. But perhaps its role has always been cyclical. To preserve ancient truths during times of collapse, to resurface when humanity is ready to rebuild. Because the greatest secret Freemasonry holds is not political. It is philosophical, that humanity itself is unfinished architecture, and consciousness is the true temple. Follow, comment, subscribe for more incredible videos about mysteries and forgotten knowledge from past civilizations. Higher history, beyond the limits of recorded history.